Meta AI is the personal AI that's tailored to you, now with its very own app. It's built to get to know you, offering helpful answers and inspiration. Looking for something to add to your bucket list? Meta AI goes beyond traveling the world. It remembers you're a basketball fanatic and suggests you attend one of the playoff games. Just start typing or speaking to get the answers you need, wherever and whenever, because Meta AI is your personal AI. Download the Meta AI app, now available on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Your weekend is not complete without the First Lady of New York Radio. It's the Joan Hamburg Show. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
All right, welcome everyone. And I always love to catch up, no matter what time of year, with the one and only Jill Rappaport. She is the queen of the animal world. And you never know what's going on in her house, but I can tell you there are more animals than people. And her bed that's where all the animals sleep. So her social life isn't so good because a lot of the men in her life don't like to go to bed with 5 dogs, cats. She would put a horse upstairs too if she could.
What do you mean? What men? What are you talking about? Man, the only men I want in my bed have 4 legs. So I feel very blessed. And in the days when I was having a little activity, there was no better form of birth control than these dogs because no guy was getting near me then.
And the problem is you like the dogs better than the men.
But better than, yes, other than you, Joan, better than most people. No, I you know how I feel about animals. Listen, during COVID, when we were all so alone and afraid and scared, I don't have kids. I don't have family here. It was my dogs that got me through that time. And whenever you're depressed or down, you look at them and, talk about unconditional love. They don't care what you look like or if you're in a bad mood. They think you're the greatest thing in the world. And one of the greatest gifts I ever got was a pillow that said, be the person your dog thinks you are.
Oh, that's
and think
terrific.
about that. Because, if we could be what our animals think we are in their eyes, we're perfection, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I just got another one, Joan.
Wait,
a fourth one.
What'd you get?
Well, another standard poodle. You should appreciate that with your love of standards. I had Stanley. Stanley is going on 12 now, and we rescued, there were 17 standard poodles and labradoodles left alongside a road. And that's just supposed to show you what's going on in animal welfare. Can you imagine labradoodles and pure standard poodles? And so, of course, I took the craziest one. I now call her Winnie the Poodle, but she's really Winnie the Pooper. It's just kind of interesting. Oh, she's looking at me now. She has a look on her face like, what are you saying about me?
Is she a good dog?
Oh, well, she has a lot to learn because I never take puppies. She's almost 3, but she wasn't abused. She was severely neglected. Never had a bath, never had love, never had attention. She lived in a little small square on top of dogs, puppies and dogs, and never had any attention. So now when someone new comes to the house, she's terrified because she thinks they're going to take her away.
Right.
And she's so bonded. Literally, when I come home, if we sit on the sofa, she takes her paws and wraps them either around my waist or my neck. She is a true.
What color of standard is she?
She rust, like a deep, deep red.
Oh,
she's
nice.
Really gorgeous. Yeah, she's staring at me the whole time, and they have the funniest faces. And you look at your Annie, and Sadie, you had so many standards.
No, she knows, and they understand. That's the scary part. I've had a lot of dogs, always my whole life. Everything from Cocker Spaniels, you name it, to standards. But there's no dog like a standard. They literally know what you're talking about.
Oh, they're so, so smart. Now, Stanley is perfection. He has never to this day had an accident in the house. He will hold it. He will do anything to be the perfect dog. She isn't quite there yet. But, in all fairness to her, she never knew a home. So we're working diligently. I now have 4. And it's been, this whole summer, Joan, you and I have talked. It was a lot of fun celebrity events, but all tied into animal welfare because everybody's jumping on the bandwagon because it's so dire right now.
Yeah. And what do you see? You see that people take pups or dogs for the summer, and then when it's time to close up, they don't want the dogs anymore.
Imagine this. The best pasta sauce you have ever tasted sits abandoned on a plate. Wasted sauce. That is a tragedy. If only you had used Barilla al Bronzo pasta. Its bronze-cut texture holds your sauce and scoops up every last drop. The Italians call that scarpetta. Capture sauce the Italian way. Barilla al Bronzo. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
Well, we had such a great adoption rate during COVID. Everybody wanted an animal. Nobody wanted to be alone. And then the reality set in. Yeah. Many people went back to work. All of a sudden, they got their first vet bill. And we also have a very, very dangerously low rate of veterinarians now. There's no more vets. And nobody's going to vet school.
Why?
It's just a situation where vet schools are, where are the vets? And if you go to your vet today, I just went for a general checkup for one of my dogs. It was $1,000.
Yeah, we had the same experience.
Right. And I think, and the vets need, that's their cost just to be able to have, especially in the Hamptons, the buildings and the cost of everything. So the shortage of vets, the COVID returns, people went back to work. There was separation anxiety. They got their first vet bill. It was a big responsibility. And these people dumped them again. So they were dumped once and now they were dumped again. And I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, you want a labradoodle, you want a cockapoo, whatever you want, a purebred lab, a golden retriever, puppies, whatever you want, there's abundance of them in every shelter. So you can just imagine what this does for the group that I support, which is the underdogs, the seniors, the pits, and the special needs. There was a little ray of hope, a little ray of sunshine during COVID, and now forget it. Nobody wants them. So that's the campaign. Joan, I've been working on for a year, my home for the holidays and after. I got 15 underdogs out from Southampton Animal Shelter.
And how many dogs do you personally have now?
Right now, only 4. And I say only 4 because
it's a lot.
I used to have 6, my 6-pack, and I lost 3 during COVID. And I have 3 super seniors, so I was a little reluctant to take her, but she was a special case. I'm fostering, but, I'll be a foster fail, as they call us.
Yeah.
When and by the way, Joan, I even asked you to do this, and I encourage your listeners, if you can adopt, and many people can't, you can foster. Literally, you are the bridge between hell and heaven. Then they know their first home. They know their first kind hand, the first loving meal from someone who cares. Fostering is the most important thing you can do. If you can't do that, you can volunteer to go to a local shelter and walk the animals, spend time with them. You can donate $1. If everybody donated $1, we wouldn't even be in this situation right now that we're in. But, I've been doing this all my life. And this summer I focused on, wildlife rescue. I hosted their event. What's going on with the wildlife is just so dire. And horses, I worked with Equus at the Hampton Classic Adoption Day this summer.
How did that go? Did you get a lot of horses adopted? Because horses are an expensive pet to have.
Yes. And Joan, if you remember, you were the big star there last year. Everybody was so excited to meet Joan Hamburg, and you almost took home a pony.
Oh, that was the cutest pony I ever saw.
And Joan, you cracked me up. You go, I wonder if I'd have room in my backyard. That's, and listen, I was cracking up because it was adorable. Literally,
it was, right? That was one of the cutest ponies we ever saw. Ponies aren't always so nice.
No, that's the only time I really got hurt on a pony. I got thrown and broke both my wrists on a pony. It's funny. It's, they can be a little tough. When they're wonderful, they're great. And sometimes they have a little bit of an attitude. But listen, it can happen with any animal. And ponies, horses. We had a great day. It was a really exciting day. Georgina Bloomberg hosted it with me, and we had a wonderful turnout, and it was really great to see the demonstration of these horses. As you know, from last year, no one could believe they were rescues. No one could believe that they were looking for a home because they looked like they should be in the Hampton Classic.
They were really beautiful, and there were a lot of beautiful ones this year, too. Well, last year, one of yours, I forget which one, took a little nip out of me. Do you remember that? You said, give him a little scratch.
He was playing. He
You said,
he didn't take a nip. He was just playing
Right,
with
he
you,
took
Joan.
a bite.
He's testing you.
Yeah, I know, but
you were very sweet. He sensed you had a lot of sweet sugar in you. No, he wasn't biting. He was a little bit playful. And,
nibbling.
I tell people all the time with horses, first of all, you stand on the side of them. You don't go in front. You don't go behind. You let them smell you first. Like you saw the horse whisperer. You put your hand out, let them smell you, let them get their scent, and don't get in their space. With all the years I've been doing this with shelter dogs, knock on wood, the only time I was bitten was on live TV at Westminster with the winner. I was actually nipped for the first time. All my years, Joan,
You never had yeah.
No, because first of all, I'm very careful what animals I feature. If I'm going to feature them for adoption, I'm going to make sure that they're viable and safe. Yeah, and also, I know when I meet a dog, I don't look them in the eye. I go up sideways and I let him sniff my hand and I slowly work my way over to him. I don't get in his space. I don't get in their face. I tell people this all the time. If you were to meet a stranger and they came up to you on the street and started like literally hovering over your nose and face and eyes, you push them out of the way. And, strange dogs and if they're scared, that you're in their space. So people have to respect an animal's space and let them come to you and trust you.
Right. Do you ride still a lot?
I didn't ride much last year or this year. I was so busy every time I wanted to get on, but I tell people all the time, for me, my horses are like an extension of my home and they're part of the family. So just being able to go out and hang out with them and pet them and sit on the fence and pet them. And I walk with them and I rub them and I give them carrots. That gives me just as much joy on the ground than on their back,
right.
And some of mine, they're super seniors. I have horses up to 28 years old now. And honestly, they don't want me on their back. Would you?
Well, are you kidding? Not even close. But
it was a great summer, to spread the word. One of the places I went, we talked about this, was at Donna Karen's house this summer. And I only bring her up because she just took an amazing rescue at the Hampton Classic last year.
What'd she
big,
take?
Beautiful dog. A big chocolate lab mix. And she said, Jill, he won't go anywhere without me. I just adore him. But here's this amazing woman, so busy, so accomplished, and like literally it's just a pile of mush with her rescues. And she does these amazing screenings. This summer, she did another one, and her house is on the water, and it's so magnificent. And Blythe Danner was there, and Katie Couric, and Christy Brinkley, and just like an amazing group of people. Right. And it was really fun. And she's a huge rescuer.
Didn't Blythe Danner have an accident, or is that old news?
She looked beautiful and fine to me. She's always been, and she loves you, Joan, by the way. They all do. I was talking about you to Mercedes Rule. Everybody loves Joan Hamburg. The minute I bring you up, it's like the warmth and the smile comes over their face. And you are so revered by everybody lucky. From the local butcher to literally the celebrity that lives out here. Everyone adores you.
Oh, I wish we had the local butcher right now to get a slice of bologna.
Well, I don't eat meat. I'm a vegan, but you can.
I can. You never had a bologna?
I haven't in years.
Right.
Years ago, you and I mean, come on, I love that stuff as much as you. But, I love pigs as animals. I have wild
turkeys. Pigs are adorable. Well, we all do. And wild turkeys have so many children.
They march in a procession. Yes. And I love. And chickens are so smart. When you spend time with them as animals, as part of your farm, you can't imagine ever eating one. The eggs, okay, if they lay the eggs. But,
right.
I'm starting to feel I have very little left to eat, so it leaves me chocolate. I'm really down to candy.
I know that. You started with candy, and candy is still one of your favorite things. It's interesting. We do love our sweets. I mean, when Costco knows you're coming for those cookies, they send the alert throughout the whole store.
Well, Costco's extremely dangerous because they have the super size of everything.
Yes.
And you know what upsets me? I don't think I've been this upset since, I was trying to think maybe breaking up with someone, but probably not. I was so upset because whenever you find something there that you love, you go back. Oh, we don't carry it anymore.
No, I know.
The sizes,
it's
I
okay
just love it.
for the best that they don't carry too much with all that stuff. Anyway, I love talking to you, Jill Rappaport, and I look forward to the next batch of puppies, doggies, homeless who find a home in your home. So
yes, and please go, Joan, may I just say if people could go to the Southampton Animal Shelter website and look at my dogs. I'm featuring my underdogs. We have 2 left out of 18 that need a home, and they are absolutely young and beautiful. One is like a coonhound mix, a foxhound coonhound, I was told. He's 4 years old. We saved him from a kill shelter. He's been sitting in the shelter half his life. His name is Austin. I would have taken him, but I have 3, kind of strong males here. Even though they're seniors, they like their own space here. But he is such a sweetheart, and not one application for Austin.
I wonder why.
I can't figure it out. He looks like an ad for Ralph Lauren. And then we have a bully breed, a snow white dog named Zeus, who's deaf. But let me tell you something about the deaf dogs. They are the smartest, most astute, and loving dogs. He is as sharp as can be, and he looks like a painting. He's snow white with powder blue eyes. And he got put into a home once. I really think both of these dogs should probably be without other animals so that people can focus on them because they've had such a tough life. But they're sitting there. They're the last 2 of my 18, and I'm not going to give up.
You'll get them. No, you'll definitely get them. All right, Jilly. And if people are interested, where do they go? What do they do?
Well, first of all, you can go, look up at Jill Rappaport, my website, and also Jill Rappaport's Pet Products with a Purpose, where I sell wonderful products that also go back to benefiting shelter animals, and those dogs are featured there. And Southampton Animal Shelter, go right to their website. Whenever I do a video, it's right on the front page. And I'm begging you, I will give you one of my toys, my leashes. I'll hang out with you. You can come visit my farm.
You can move in. Right.
You can move in. I will do anything to find the right home for Zeus and Austin. It just breaks my heart every week I'm there. It's just, I go away literally in tears that they're sitting in a cage day after day, week after week, now going into year after year.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, let's hope the message gets across, and we'll talk to you again and check up on the progress.
Okay. Thank you, Joan.
Thank you, Jill.
Soon.
I'll
bring Winnie the Pooper over to meet Annie.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
I'm Joan
honey.
Hamburg, and that was Jill Rappaport, and lots more ahead. Stay tuned.